Now I'm going to get into a little bit of CSS with you, just with color and size. So in Dreamweaver, it's kind of been integrated into it, so you're kind of having to use it if you want to, or if you don't want to, you're kind of stuck with using it. So, but it's actually a good thing. It allows you to do some simple changes to multiple pages from one document. So first thing I think I'll do is I'll just take my header text here, whatever it may be, and just highlight it first. And to get into this, I'm just going to change the color and the size. So I'm going to go into this CSS. That will kind of change up the settings down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start playing around with the color and also the size. So maybe I'll come in here to size where it says none and just change that to something big. And when I first do that, before I can really do anything, it's going to make me set up a rule. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to stick with this class apply to any HTML element. There's some other elements you can play with in here, but I'm going to stick with the class to start off with. And then I'm going to go ahead and type out what I want to name this class or this rule. So no capitalizations, no spaces, so I'm just going to name this header text. Something simple, something that lets you know what it is. And then down here, this is pretty important too. If you want this to go for multiple pages, it's good to change and create a new style sheet. You can embed it within this document, but then if you do that, when you go to other documents and try and change something in one, you have to go to each individual one. So I'm going to choose New Style Sheet, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then from there, it's going to ask me to basically create this style sheet. So I'm going to just name this text, just so I know what it is. And it's a CSS document. If I don't put that in there, it'll probably put it in there for me anyways. And then I just want to save that in the same spot where I have all my pages at, so it's easy to find. So I'll click Save. That is now set up. I can go in there. If I want to continue to play around with it, maybe I want to play with color, I can put that color in there, and that'll automatically add it to that targeted rule, this header text on there. So that one's set up. I'm good to go. I'll come down here and maybe I'll select this piece right here. So I'm going to maybe just add a little bit to that too. So I'm in CSS. Maybe I'll just change the color on this one to a different color. So once again, it's going to make me choose a rule. And so I'll just name this divider text. So it doesn't matter what you call it, just as long as it's something that you can remember. And then make sure it's going to that same document, so you don't have to create a new CSS document for each one. I would try and put all of them in the same spot as much as you can. Click OK. Now that has that on there. Maybe I'll put a bold with it too, and just keep it at that. Let me do two more. So I'm going to go and grab this bolded text. So I'm going to bold it. I'm just going to name this bold. And just click OK. And maybe I'll just change the color slightly to a different color. And then body text, I want to, even if you do not want to do anything to it, it's still good to set up in case you want to change it later. So I think all I'll do with that is just change the color to something slightly different, and I'll just name this body text and click OK. So that will set up all of my styles. Now the nice thing, if I decide I don't like that, I can always come in here and change it very quickly and easily, and it'll change throughout my whole document on there. So same thing if I decide I need to type out some more text. Let me just copy this a couple times down. So I have that in there. If I come in here and I decide I do not like that color of the font, click inside one of those areas. I'm on that body text. All I have to do is come in here and just change that to a different color, and I'll change it throughout my document, and better yet, if I have my other pages set up, it'll change it throughout there without having to do much of anything. And that's CSS styles.